I promised myself I'd never love again. Not out loud, not to anyone else, just silently, the way broken people make promises they hope no one will ever challenge. Love had taken too much from me already. The divorce papers were signed on a Tuesday morning in late October. Gray sky, cold wind, the kind of day that feels unfinished. My ex-wife didn't cry, neither did I. We shook hands like strangers who had once shared a life and now barely shared eye contact. 5 years of marriage ended with a pen stroke and a quiet, "Take care." I didn't know where to go after that, so I chose the one place where nothing reminded me of who I used to be. Ohio, a small town outside Columbus. Cheap rent, quiet streets, no memories. I rented a one-bedroom apartment with thin walls and a hallway that echoed every footstep. The furniture was minimal: a mattress, a table, one chair. No photos, no decorations. I told myself it was temporary, but temporary has a way of becoming permanent when you stop caring. A life on repeat. Every day followed the same routine. Wake up, shower, coffee, work, silence. I worked in logistics, nothing glamorous, nothing inspiring. It paid the bills. That was enough. I avoided coworkers, declined invitations, spent weekends alone. At night, I lay in bed listening to the hum of the building, wondering how my life had become so small. I wasn't angry anymore, just empty. And then, the noise started. The day she arrived. It was a Saturday afternoon when I heard boxes crashing in the hallway. Something hit the wall. A book slid across the floor. I sighed, annoyed, and opened my door. That's when I saw her. She was kneeling, surrounded by half-open boxes, hair falling out of a messy ponytail. She looked embarrassed, frustrated, and very tired. "I'm sorry," she said quickly. "I didn't mean to make so much noise." I shook my head. "It's fine." She tried lifting another box. It slipped. Without thinking, I stepped forward and grabbed it. "I'm terrible at asking for help," she said. I almost smiled. "I'm terrible at refusing." She laughed softly. Her laugh caught me off guard. "Emily," she said, extending her hand. "Mark." Before she could say anything else, a small voice spoke behind her. "Mom, is he nice?" I looked down. A little girl, maybe 6 or 7, stood holding a stuffed rabbit. Big, curious eyes, brave posture. "I try," I said. She smiled. "Okay." Emily laughed again. "This is Lily." Lily waved. And just like that, fear crept into my chest. Because Emily wasn't just a woman, she was a mother. And mothers don't come alone. Neighbors. I told myself to keep distance. Be polite, be kind, be nothing more. But distance is hard when someone lives 10 feet away. Emily worked long hours at a nursing home. Lily stayed with a neighbor after school. Sometimes I'd see them in the hallway. Sometimes Lily would draw with chalk outside their door. One afternoon, I came home and saw a chalk heart in front of my apartment. I looked around. Lily peeked from behind her door. "For you," she said. "Why?" I asked. She shrugged. "Because you helped my mom." I swallowed hard. "Thank you," I said. She smiled and ran back inside. That night I stared at that heart longer than I should have. Late-night conversations. The walls were thin. Sometimes at night I'd hear Emily moving around, cooking, cleaning, sighing. One night I knocked on the wall lightly. "Sorry," I said through the wall. "Didn't mean to scare you." She laughed. "I thought I imagined it." That became a habit. Short conversations through the wall turned into long ones. We talked about work, about exhaustion, about starting over. One night her voice softened. "Do you ever feel like you survived something, but it took part of you with it?" I closed my eyes. "Yes," I said quietly. "Every day." There was silence after that. Not awkward, understanding. Getting closer. Emily never pushed, never flirted, never crossed a line. She invited me over once, for dinner. I made too much pasta, she said. Please help me save it. I almost said no, but Lily looked up at me hopefully. So I said yes. We sat at a small table. Lily talked non-stop. Emily watched her with tired affection. For the first time in years, I laughed freely. After dinner, Lily fell asleep on the couch. Emily lowered her voice. Thank you. She doesn't see many men stick around. That sentence stayed with me. The past comes back. One night, Emily knocked on my door. Her eyes were red, hands shaking. My ex, she said. He's back. I felt my chest tighten. He wants custody, she whispered. He has money, lawyers. I don't. She looked at me, not asking, just needing, and fear took over. I remembered my divorce, the accusations, the exhaustion, the loss. I can't do this, I said softly. I'm sorry. I'm not strong enough. Emily nodded. She didn't argue. She just turned and walked back into her apartment. And I hated myself for letting her go. The silence. Days passed. No chalk drawings, no laughter. The hallway felt empty again. One night I heard Lily crying. That sound broke something inside me, because I realized I wasn't protecting myself. I was abandoning them, choosing love. I knocked on Emily's door. When she opened it, she looked surprised. I was wrong, I said. I'm scared, but I'm here. She stared at me for a long moment, then stepped aside. That was the moment everything changed. The court battle. I stood beside Emily in court, not as a hero, just as someone who stayed. She told her story with quiet strength, and she won. Outside the courthouse, Lily hugged me tightly. Are you staying forever? She asked. I looked at Emily. If they'll have me, I said. Emily cried. Love grows slowly. Love didn't explode, it grew. In routines, in trust, in shared responsibilities. Lily started calling me Mark at first. Then one day, quietly, Dad. I cried in the bathroom for 10 minutes. Marriage isn't easy. We married 2 years later. Marriage didn't erase our scars. Money was tight. Arguments happened. Fear returned sometimes. One night Lily asked, Will you leave too? I knelt down. I'm not going anywhere. The happy ending. Years later, I watched Lily graduate. Emily squeezed my hand. This is the life we almost missed, she whispered. I smiled. Because sometimes love doesn't arrive loudly. Sometimes it moves in next door and teaches you how to stay. The end.